And welcome once again to Eagle Eye on Ringtown, St. John's Lutheran Church interview for our community who are making a positive difference for the Ringtown Valley, and ask them a few questions to help our citizenry around Ringtown familiarize themselves with an organization or a person who is doing good work in our community. And today we are very happy of the Ringtown Area Food Pantry, who will share with us some information about the local food pantry. So thank you for coming, Susie. We really appreciate your being here. And my first question, which is just the basic question, where is the food pantry? When is it open? And just some of the basic general information about the food pantry.
The food pantry operates the second Saturday of every month from 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock at the Union Township Municipal Building. It's located at 155 Zine Grove Road, Ringtown, Pennsylvania.
And that's going out past the Little League field at the Township Building out that way.
Yes.
For people who may not be so familiar with the Ringtown area, it goes out. Okay, and who is eligible for the monthly distribution of food?
Anyone who meets the state's income guidelines is eligible for the food. We also have emergency food for families who find themselves strapped, and that can be given at our discretion to anyone.
Okay, and we'll get into that a little bit later, so thank you for bringing that up. In terms of getting started with the food pantry, I know it's been going on for quite a while, quite a few years.
14.
And I know that you've been very instrumental in the whole program, so if you can just kind of give us a little background as to how the food pantry got started.
My husband and I were living in New Jersey at the time, and I saw that there was a need in Ringtown because there was no local pantry. We have a high population of elderly people, and they either had to go to Shenandoah or up to Nuremberg. And during the winter, over the mountain and through the woods to the northernmost part of the county were probably challenging times for elderly people. And I said to my husband, I'd like to start a food pantry in Ringtown. I think he thought I was a little crazy because we talked to my mother about it, and she was on board. I said, I don't have a place for us yet or anything else, but I'd like to start collecting food. And she said, well, I guess you can use my house. So we started to collect food, and then I went to the township, and they were more than happy to give us a home. The home was on the second floor, so we were carrying food up and down the steps to the loft, which got to be quite challenging at times. And then they very willingly built us a room on the first floor. They also bought us a refrigerator and a freezer, and we've taken off since then.
So as the food pantry has grown over the years, there are basically two types of food, and you mentioned this before. There's the regular distribution, and then there is the emergency food. Where does each type of food come from?
The regular distribution comes from Helping Harvest out of Berks County and from Schuylkill Community Action. They get their food through state and federal food distribution, food purchases. Helping Harvest, which used to be Greater Berks, gets their food from Helping Harvest. Their funding comes from all kinds of donations from John Q. Public, businesses.
Okay. Is this the emergency food?
That's the general food.
Okay.
The emergency food is food that we are able to purchase through efforts of our own, which is we have a walk-a-thon once a year, and we raise money that way. The Pastors Association gives us a donation. Rotary was giving us a donation. Lions Club donates to us. And again, John Q. Public, we get a lot of donations from the public and from other churches, local and some that aren't quite so local.
Okay. So people can donate food.
Absolutely, they can
pantry.
donate food, they can donate money.
Okay, great.
Food is always our second choice because when we buy it, we can purchase food at 15 cents a pound, nothing more than 15 cents a pound.
Wonderful.
So that's
Pretty
meat and
inexpensive,
everything,
yeah.
and it's very inexpensive for us.
Very nice, okay. So I know in order to run an operation like this, especially on the days when you are distributing food and even the night before, you need volunteers.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about the people who volunteer for you and what kind of things they do in order to make the food pantry work?
Our volunteers range from 6 years old to people in their 80s. And it's not just the day before. The week of distribution is a busy week for us. Monday we usually go through boxes, sorting dates and things like that. The Thursday we pack our dry goods. Friday, Saturday morning we distribute. People can help by going through dates with us. When we get our food, we go through it all to make sure everything looks good. We tend to sometimes get some moldy things and we tend to throw them out. But we use volunteers of all ages to do all kinds of things, stack food.
Wonderful. So you're always in need of volunteers?
We are all, I never turn anybody away. A volunteer is great.
Okay.
Because not everybody can make themselves available all the time.
For each instance that you
Yeah.
need them. Okay. Good, good. So they can just contact you then if
They can.
they
They
wish
can.
to volunteer.
If they need community service, they can volunteer at the food pantry. We'd be more than happy to have them.
Okay.
If we've had scouts earning badges, we've had youth groups, we've had, you name it, we've had it.
So then when somebody shows up on a Saturday of distribution, what does that look like? Just so that somebody who has not come yet and might want to come to the next one, what might it look like to that person when they come? What steps will they go through?
Well, we are packing boxes with frozen foods in them. We are packing boxes with vegetables in them, fresh vegetables. We already have, at that point, the dry goods packed. So we are moving boxes or pallets of food out, because right now we're still at a drive-through pantry. So people can't come in and shop.
Okay.
And it's just a lot of moving things. We take tables outside for things oddball things that we don't have enough of for everybody. We take tables outside and line those tables with food that people can pick from. And if they need it, they take it. If they don't, that's fine too.
Great. Now, is there any other important information that I missed that you might want to share with us that would help people to understand the food pantry or maybe connect with you? So, for instance, if somebody were to donate food, they could donate here at St. John's. We have a container. Are there others around town?
Most of the churches in town have a barrel where people can place food. They can contact me. They can call my house at 3755, or they can call my cell phone at 973-906-9636. I've had people drop food off at the pantry, but please, before you do that, let me know it's going to be there, because
There's some organizing that has to take
yes,
place.
there is.
Okay.
And if anybody has fresh produce, at this point, St. Paul's has a community garden that they will also accept fresh produce from the public to be distributed to others. And they are operating every Saturday from 10 to 11:30 for anybody that needs it.
Up at the church.
At the church, yep, in the garage, from the garage.
Okay. So in terms of an emergency distribution, I wanted to kind of cover this a little bit more. If somebody has an emergency need and they need to get food on the table fairly quickly, the best way to do that is just call you?
Call me.
Okay, you want to give your numbers again?
My phone number is 570. My cell phone is 973-906-9636. You will have food that night. If I'm not around, I will find someone who is and can get in and get the food. You will have food.
Great. Anything else that we need to cover before we go?
Come out and support our walkathon in the fall.
Okay. Do you know when it is going to be this year?
I do not have a specific date.
Okay.
I kind of wait for the weather to get a little bit cooler.
Great, yeah.
We try to walk the loop, but if we can't walk the loop, then we'll just walk through town, and it helps to create awareness for the food pantry and for hunger.
Great. So I know that this is a major, wonderful food pantry staffed by Susie and a bunch of really good people who put a lot of food out for residents throughout our valley who are in need, who are food insecure, and can really use these resources. So if you can support the food pantry in any way, it would be greatly appreciated. And as Susie said, they take food contributions, of course, at any of the churches, or monetary donations, which they can actually use in ways that far outreach the amount that you give. So if you are able to make those kinds of contributions, it would be greatly appreciated. So once again, before we close, can you give us the details? When, where, and who?
Second Saturday of every month from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. at the Union Township Municipal Building, 155 Zine Grove Road, Ringtown, Pennsylvania.
Okay, well thank you, Susie. We appreciate your being here, and we thank all of you for watching our episode this time. We will be coming to you in the future as time goes on with more interviews with people like Susie who are making a positive impact in our community and in our area, both individuals and organizations. So thank you for joining in on this episode of Eagle Eye on Ring.